All right, cool. So let's dive in. Let's put a banner up really quick too. So if you're interested in my book, there it is, kylewriter.com/book. You can check out Take Their Money. If you could teach copywriting to a 9-year-old, how would you go about doing it? It's a language. Binge it. Immerse yourself. That's it. Stop trying to learn how to write copy and just start thinking about how to frame things as new, easy, safe, or big. Kyle isn't about really knowing your audience and what drives them, their pain points and desires. Yeah, I think that's very important. That way, what you are really doing is having a conversation. It feels like a one-on-one conversation. Okay, having a one-on-one conversation. That's like one of those things that someone, I'm pretty sure like that maybe that started with John Carlton. And I think for him, it means something different than what it means for a lot of people without the same sort of like experience and context behind it to understand how to execute the one-on-one conversation in a way that results in sales. And for me, in the most basic of forms, what's in it for me? What? That's impossible. Yes. And then so what's in it for me? How is that possible? It's number 2. Oh, it is possible. Well, then how does it work? It's number 3. Oh, yeah, but how do I do it? That's number 4. Well, how you do it is through my product. So let's go through an example. 1, you can eliminate your acne forever. No, I can't. That's impossible. So, right. So what's in it for me? You can eliminate your acne forever. How is that possible? Well, it's possible. So these are all the little pieces that you've probably heard on the internet. Well, it's possible. And this is why this has never worked. It's possible because we have a special new way of doing this, right? Science has discovered that we've been doing it wrong forever. And the way to actually do it has to be done a very specific sort of way. And here's some results that we've gleaned from this new approach that, oh my God, these people eliminated their acne forever. See, case study A, B, and C, results 1, 2, and 3. And you'll say, oh, so it is possible. These people back it up and that science says it's possible and that we've been doing it wrong the whole time. Now there's a new way to do it. So I believe it's possible. How does it work? How exactly do you do it? How exactly is that the way to do it? So that one-on-one conversation thing, I feel like it's an old adage and I think it's useful, but I think it's gotten thrown around to the point where it's just kind of like a little bit beaten up. How many hours a day should one practice copywriting? Also, is reading copy, breaking it down, and creating my own version of copy enough? Thank you. Great question. I've told one of my writers about this recently. Reading copy is not practice. That's passive. Reading copy is not practice. Breaking down copy, not practice. Practice is the creation of copy. Practice is creating new value. Otherwise, you can get stuck in this cycle where nothing gets done, where you just break down. Think about this. All right. Think about practice as an outcome that progresses your career forward. All right. So a practice, if I'm practicing this, then I should eventually see some sort of tangible lag measure, some sort of result. So think of it as lead measures and lag measures. Okay. So we'll go lead measures, lag measures. I got this from Deep Work. This is where I learned this. Lead measures are inputs. Lag measures are results or outputs. Okay. So if your output is dollars, if your results are more promos, right? Think about it from there. Now work backwards. Does practicing, all right, does reading copy result in that output? Hell no. You could read until your eyes bleed and never make a penny. So it's not practice. Practice, in my opinion, there's only 2 things, and that is research for a promo. I have to include research in there because without the research, like you got to factor in that time and you have to give it credit because it should take up about 60% to 80% of your project's time is figuring out the research. So that is one of those things that I cannot possibly write without the research. So I have to give it its credit as part of like the practice of what I would call deep work. I don't call it deep work. Cal Newport calls it deep work. And I use that term to explain this for myself. So think of practice as an incremental step toward your desired output. Again, reading copy does not move you forward. Okay. You can shift that slightly where if you're reading and if you're marking up promos and outlining them as research for your promo or project, it counts towards your research, right? It does count towards your research, but just reading and reading and reading and reading indefinitely in perpetuity, that's a good way to just be broke. Yes, you're very welcome. Jerome, thank you. I don't believe in the whole concept of the big idea. I think Ubaldo once said he believed ideas worth testing. Actually, I want to talk about this for 1 second. The big idea is a little bit overblown. It's sort of, I would say it's kind of up there with that whole idea of having a one-on-one conversation, right? But it's like, but when you don't really know what the hell you're talking about or what that means or how to execute it effectively, it can get tossed around in conversation with armchair copywriters. And I think the big idea has kind of become one of those too. So one thing I will say that I have kind of come towards the middle on this argument or conversation is I am getting rid of the big promise, I think. I'm getting rid of the big promise from my lexicon. And instead, what I'm going to talk about more is the unique promise. I'll show up those notes. Walking through Ready, Fire, Aim by Michael Masterson. It was this idea of, because I'm talking about the big idea. So how to sell your USP. So first you have a USP and then you come up with a big idea. And then from your big idea, you get a big promise. And so I think maybe I am doing this and not even realizing it, but I'm thinking that you definitely start with the product and its unique selling proposition. You don't just start with the big idea that has nothing to do with your product or service or brand. So that drives me nuts because people actually do that. But I find the unique element of a product, and then I want to sell that with a unique promise. So I think what I might just be doing, and I think I'm calling it something new, but it probably isn't something new, is I'm combining the big idea and the big promise. Because the big promise in financial is you're going to make $1 million. You're going to make $100,000. You're going to make $10,000 overnight. You're going to make X number of dollars in a defined period of time. That's every promise in a financial promo, a financial advertisement, marketing campaign, whatever you want to call it. It's always the same. The gains, the dollar figures are a commodity. You will always see the same promise if you're just looking for a big promise. Bukus of money, very short time window. That's the promise. So that doesn't work. That's why financial copywriters exist, because we have to spin that into something new and unique. And that's where the idea of a big idea appears. So for me, I've started pivoting a little bit to this term, the unique promise, where I can give you some examples that I've used in promos that I've written recently. A countdown timer that ticks down to the very exact moment that you should invest right before a stock is going to explode. And this comes from, like, I was looking at the product, and it's a trading strategy that's pretty complex. But I did find this one element of the strategy where I was like, oh, once this ticks down to like this line, once this line reaches that line, boom, these stocks have a tendency to bounce back. And for me, that turned into a sort of countdown element where you're counting down to the specific moment in time. All right, so that's a unique promise because the money is still there, the gains, but they're not even in my promise. I'm saying you count down to a moment where a stock will explode, right? I don't put the dollar figure, and that is in the promo, the dollar figure and the amount of time it would take, but it's not the focus of my promise. The focus of my promise is on the unique element of it. All right, and you can call that the big idea. Maybe I'm coming up with new ways to explain something that's basically old as dirt. But so that's one. Another promise that we've made is, how to profit off the hottest sector in the market without risking a single penny of your own capital. And again, this is another complicated trading strategy, which actually does allow you to profit without risking a single penny of your own stake. And the way it does that is through like this implied volatility thing. So you invest in an options contract with while implied volatility is raising, it causes the options contract to become more valuable. You pull out your initial stake and then you leave in the little chunk of money that was your profit. Now that becomes a profit that can explode. Let's see, it gets very complicated to explain it, but I take that whole thing and I summarize it down in these little itty bitty sentences because we had an FDA catalyst calendar date. But the focus of that promo becomes about the idea of what we call the free ride. And a free ride is a way to profit off the hottest sector in the market without risking a single penny of your own stake. So the point is not about the dollars and cents, the money you'll make. The big promise is always focused on, you'll make $10,000 in 2 days. The big promise is always like, you're going to retire in a month. Instead, I think you should focus on the unique promise, which is, as I sit here and ramble about it, sounds like another word for big idea, which is like, what is the unique thing? I don't like the term big idea. I like the unique promise. It derives directly from the unique element of your product. And the more I talk, the more I realize that this is not my idea at all. Because this is exactly what Michael Masterson was saying in Ready, Fire, Aim. He says the idea, and then you get the USP, the only inspirational website based on the teachings of Confucius. And the big idea is derived from the USP. So I guess I just said all that. And maybe I am a big idea guy now. So maybe the unique promise is the way I would look at it. I think where my gripe with the big idea is it has become one of those sort of terms that people misuse. They don't really understand it. They're going out hunting for big ideas. And I think that's the wrong way to do it. Like the big idea, don't think of it as a big idea. Think about the unique thing about your product, why your product is cool, why it's cooler than other products, why they should buy your product instead of others. All right. And then you take that unique thing and you turn it into a cool promise that doesn't necessarily have to say dollars and cents. Like if it doesn't have dollars and cents, but it still makes you want it, then that's a strong financial promise, because count down to the moment the stocks are about to explode. That's a cool promise because it implies that there will be a benefit, right? The other cool promise, tap into the hottest sector of the markets without risking a single penny of your own initial starting stake. That's a cool promise, right? And I don't have to tell you you'll make X number of dollars. It just sounds cool by itself. Dylan asks, how can I be your junior copywriter? Okay. So I have been doing most of my recruiting. Oh, let me show you something. This is something I want to show you really quick. It's my Instagram. And I'm not lying. So my man's asking, how do I be a junior copywriter? In 2019, I had 2 goals. 2019, my New Year's resolution was to write 2 hours per day. It's called deep work, or only 2 focused hours of just focused work, no distractions, writing. Write copy, create content. That was 2 hours of deep work a day. That was my whole thing. I talk about it in a million videos. In 2020, I said, I want to start managing people who write copy and create content. So that has shifted. I want to show you something really cool. So the last thing I posted, it was January 2 is when I posted this. January 2, my New Year's resolutions and whatnot. And then look, the next thing I posted, this is me in the Copy Squad, July 18th. This is one of our gurus, Lance Ippolito. But yeah, so here I got a team, which is really cool. That's something I've been working on. And I want to talk about where I got most of these guys. It's a kind of a combination. I kind of got a bunch from all sorts of different places. But so what I've done is I've got this group, Copy Squad Inner Circle, copywriter.com/squad. This is a paid membership. It's currently $79 a month, and I'm probably going to raise the price. I'm also thinking about not trying to create urgency, but I'm trying to wind this down, because managing these people, and this team is much bigger than just this. Managing these people takes a lot of time and energy. And so being a junior copywriter, why am I showing you all this, right? That's your question. How am I be a junior copywriter? Why am I showing you all that? I get a lot of requests for work and for jobs. Like people want to join a growing company and a growing team, and they like what I do on YouTube. So I get this question many times a day. And right now it's really, 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 really difficult for you to do that, frankly. Like I just don't have the space. And I have a lot of things, like I am creating hurdles. Like you've got to relocate. You got to be able to work in the United States, and you got to be willing to relocate to Florida. And you have to be a member of the Copy Squad Inner Circle so that I know you've actually had some exposure to like my way of writing, because I don't want to have to start coaching you from scratch. So I just keep creating hurdles and raising the bar higher and higher. And it's also to protect my current team from just having a million new people on the team, just grabbing up all the copy opportunities. All right. Thanks very much, guys. I really appreciate you all being here, hanging out, asking comments, questions. You can definitely check out my book, Take Their Money. It's at copywriter.com/book. It'll teach you how to write the words that really make you rich. Thanks so much for tuning in, and peace out, Copy Squad.